Hi, my name is Elizabeth Severino. People call me Dr. Liz. This is the second in a series of videos we're creating for you so that you can get maximum use, maximum enjoyment, and the maximum health benefits from the use of your Rainbow Lights diffusers and your Young Living essential oils. In this video is responding to some of the emails and telephone calls and questions that you've sent to us about your experiences with the diffuser. This is a diffuser. Some of you are finding that the lights might be on and you're not seeing any diffusion action. Almost invariably, when you investigate this situation, you will find out that you don't have any water in that, or there's insufficient water in the diffuser to actually create the diffusion action. So I'm going to show you how you find out for sure, and then also what you do about it. First thing you do is unplug your diffuser. Take your top off. And notice that the float's on the bottom. The float coming in contact with the bottom of the diffuser will turn the diffusion off because there's not enough water. So you have a couple choices here. You can empty this water, you can add more water and more oils, or you can just leave it in this shape. Now, of course, what I would strongly recommend is that you empty this water out, then you add fresh water and either the oils you were using before if you want to continue to diffuse those oils, or you can change oils. We're going to be having another conversation about different oils and blends and things that you can do that are wonderful for us, our animals, for children, actually further on in this video. So right here we have not enough water. So what we're going to do is pour the water out. And we're going to refill it. And we're going to refill to the fill line, as you saw in your original video. Okay. The oil we're going to use right now is Purification. We'll talk about, again, a lot of oils and oil mixes that you can do a little bit later in this particular video. But we're going to put a couple drops of Purification in here. I'm putting 5 in because that's enough. Now I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm going to plug it back in. And I'm going to turn it on. Now my settings, remember, it's lights, camera, action. I like to do the lights on the full morphing, so the colors morph through all the enzymatic colors of the spectrum, the full spectrum. I like to do low diffusion because I'm diffusing for myself and my animals and whoever else might be coming in the house. And I like to do setting 4 out of the 5 settings, which pulses for about 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds on, followed by about 50 or so seconds off. And I find that works out really, really well. So what else can you do wrong? Well, you can, let's say I thought this was too little oil. Well, I can add more. I'm not going to add more at this point because I think this is enough. But I can do it one of two ways. I could unplug it and start all over again, as you saw me before. Or if I'm counting and you notice that the diffusion action just stopped, I've got about 45 seconds or so where I could add another drop or two. So I can take this off, add another drop or two, which I'm not going to do right now because I like this blend, and then put the cap back on again. You do want this cap on because, as I indicated in your beginner video with this, it's not going to diffuse correctly or even really well at all if you don't have the cap on. Now the other thing you can do is you can have too much oil and it's too strong. Now, and then what you do with that is you can unplug it, which will turn it off. You can take your top off, and then you can pour the oil in a bowl and then perhaps put half of it back in your diffuser and then add more water. So in a sense, you're cutting the power, the strength of the oil because maybe you've used too much. Well, what oil can you use too much of? I've used too much peppermint, and it's a wonderful oil. I love it. It's particularly effective in helping you get through really, really hot days like we happen to be experiencing now as this video is being made in New Jersey, which is where I am at the moment. But I put too much in the first time. So again, that's a thing that you can do. Another good thing that you can do is, let's say you want to take your oil mix that you've done and you want to take it with you somewhere first rule of working these diffusers is what? Okay, you do not move them with water in them. So we're going to unplug the diffuser. We're going to take the cap off. We're going to pour the blend we just made. See how well we do with this. I kind of did all right with that. I usually don't. I usually spill it. Oh well, this is kind of cool. And then you can cap it. So I do well with the pouring and not so well with the capping. Okay, that's just is what it is. And then you can take your diffuser with you. Often what I'll do is I'll turn that under because then it makes it easier to wrap it and pack it. Sometimes I'll wrap it in a towel so that it stays intact and everything, therefore is easy to do. And then I can have my blend and the diffuser. You will not be able to get through TSA on flights with this concoction, but you could take it a road trip or take it to a friend or move it from one room to the next. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set this up again. Pour it back in. Put this over to the side. There's a little notch here that matches that perfectly. Plug it back in again. Lights, camera, action. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the lights. These are my preferences. 1, which is the low volume for the diffusion, and setting 4, which is the pulsing of roughly 5 or so seconds on, followed by roughly 50 or so seconds off. Okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to clean your diffuser. You may wonder, well, why on earth would you ever want to clean it? The reason you want to clean it is every now and then stuff will get in the diffuser. Usually you don't intend it. It might be doing a cleaning process or just general living, but there will be things that sometimes show up in your diffuser, and you do want to clean it. So one of the best ways to do that is, of course, to completely unplug it, pour out your water. And I use a cloth that is one of those incredible, totally organic green, just the things just can be washed and you can use them over and over again, microfiber type cloths. And I just wipe out the inside. And that's all I've ever needed to do. So it works out, in my estimation, it works out really, really well. I'm going to toss this water. And I'm going to start over with perhaps a different oil this time. We're going to talk a little bit more again about which oils you can use and how you can rotate and create sequences and patterns of using some of the oils. Yes, I'll share some of the things that I have found that I really love to do. But I think right now I'm going to put cypress in this one. So let me go get cypress. I will be right back. So here we have our cypress. Now cypress is absolutely amazing. Well, of course, I think all the oils, or almost all the oils. I can't say all the oils because I haven't used them all, but I love all the ones I've used. So this is cypress. Cypress is really, really good, I have found. These are my opinions only, with helping with inflammation. It's really good for the cardiovascular system. It's really good for muscles and bones. It's incredibly good oxygenating. So if you're experiencing really hot weather or you're winded, for example, you can put cypress in your diffuser. Cypress is really good for older pets and people, and it does help the respiratory system. So you will breathe easier because it's just so oxygenating. Now, I tend to put cypress where my animals spend the most time, particularly during hot weather, which we're certainly experiencing here now. So I'm going to put 7 drops of cypress in this diffuser. People ask me how many drops and, what's too much and what's too little. That's going to depend on the diffuser, the space you're in, who's going to be in that space, how big the space is, and the power of the oil or the oils that you're mixing. Cypress is pretty strong, and I'm going to be putting it in a room that is considerably larger than the one I'm in right now, and that is where my animals spend the most of their time, so they're going to really love that. Now, again, first law with the diffuser is never move it with water in it. We have it here because this is where we can video and show you what's going on, but I want to practice what I preach. So I'm now going to take this and put it in place right where my animals spend most of their time.